The desert stretched endlessly in every direction, a sea of scorched rock and swirling sand. Orion's breath came in ragged gasps, his muscles screaming in protest as he hoisted the unconscious alien queen higher onto his back. She was lighter than he expected, her slender form draped in torn regal robes, her silver-blue skin marred with bruises. 5 days. 5 hellish days since he had plucked her from the burning wreckage of her transport, dodging assassins and war drones sent by those who wanted her dead. His exosuit had been damaged early in their escape, its power cell drained from a direct hit. Now, he relied on sheer human endurance and grit. The queen stirred slightly, her luminous eyes fluttering open for a brief moment before exhaustion pulled her back into darkness. He knew little about her, only that her people had betrayed her, that the warlords who now ruled her empire feared what she represented. Hope. Rebellion. The potential to unite the scattered resistance. A shriek tore through the sky. Orion flung himself behind a jagged outcrop of rock, pressing the queen close to his chest as a black-winged hunter drone zipped past overhead. The machines never gave up, their relentless pursuit growing more aggressive with each passing day. He gritted his teeth. They were close to the extraction point. If he could survive another day, maybe, just maybe, they would make it out. As night fell, he found shelter in the ruins of an ancient structure half buried in sand. He set the queen down carefully, brushing stray strands of silken hair from her face. She was beautiful, even in her weakened state. Her people had once been rulers of a vast star empire, their knowledge stretching across centuries. Now, they were nearly extinct, hunted to the brink of annihilation. Her fingers twitched, then suddenly, she grasped his wrist. Orion tensed as her gaze locked onto his, a flicker of understanding passing between them. "You, still carry me," she whispered, her voice hoarse. "Why?" "Because I gave you my word," he said simply. "And because I'm not letting them win." A small smile played at her lips before her strength faded, and she slipped back into sleep. He let out a breath, rubbing tired eyes. Just a few more hours. Just a few more miles. At dawn, the final stretch of their journey began. They moved with purpose now, the queen regaining enough strength to walk with his support. The extraction point was near, a canyon where an allied ship was scheduled to land. But the enemy had anticipated them. A line of black-armored warriors stood between them and salvation. Orion squared his shoulders, gripping his battered rifle. He had only a few rounds left. The queen's fingers curled around his hand. A soft hum filled the air, and suddenly, energy crackled around them. He turned in shock as the queen rose to her full height, her presence radiating raw power. "You have done enough," she murmured. "Now, let me fight." The warriors lunged, but she raised her hands, and the air itself bent to her will. A wave of force erupted, sending their enemies sprawling. Orion wasted no time, firing into the chaos, covering their sprint toward the canyon. The ship was there, its engines roaring, the boarding ramp lowering. They ran, bullets and energy blasts whizzing past them. Just as they reached the ramp, Orion felt a sharp pain in his side. He stumbled, gritting his teeth as a plasma shot seared through his armor. The queen turned, her eyes flashing with fury. With a flick of her hand, the last of their pursuers were flung back, their bodies crashing against the canyon walls. She knelt beside him as the ship lifted off, her cool fingers pressing against his wound. "Hold on," she whispered, her voice carrying an unspoken promise. "You will not die this day." As darkness claimed him, he felt her warmth surrounding him, a presence both alien and comforting. He had carried her across a wasteland, against impossible odds. And in return, she would carry him forward into whatever came next.